Hey, welcome back to Grit Gym. I couldn't help but put this song on before I came on here. This song is it's Go Ninja Go Ninja Go. It came out in like maybe 1990 or a little bit after that, Vanilla Ice, when the Ninja Turtles were like the coolest thing ever. And so I couldn't help but put it on because I wanted to. That's why. But anyway, if you can hear it. This was awesome when I was like 6 years old, 5 years old, 4 years old, whatever that was. But anyway, today we're going with a little bit of more of a mindset thing. So the tortoise and the hare, everybody knows the story, right? But the misconception or the misunderstanding of the story is absurd. And by the time I'm done with this little presentation, you're going to see why, and you're going to see how it can apply to your life. Unintentional rhyming there. But the tortoise and the hare was the story of it's one of Homer's stories, I do believe. Anyway, basically. Somebody says, says who's faster, the tortoise or the hare, and the hare goes, I'm way faster than the tortoise. Of course I'm going to win. So they set out and they have a competition, and so they say go, and the hare is so much faster than the tortoise that the hare just goes ahead and goes a little ways and then stops, takes a nap, where the tortoise keeps on pushing forward, and then the hare wakes up, realizes how far behind he really is from the hare realizes how far behind he is from the tortoise, and goes as fast as he possibly can. He's making up, he's trying to catch up, but the tortoise is still able to cross the line right before the hare actually gets it done. Now, the story typically is considered and understood as slow and steady wins the race. But there has never been, this is my contention with this story, and I don't think, if we went back in time and we actually talked to the guy who wrote this, I do not think that he would agree with how mainstream society has looked at his story and what they have taken away from it. They say slow and steady wins the race. There has not, and the contention that I'm going to make is that there is not one race that has ever been won. There's not one race that has ever been won where the person that won did not run the fastest, unless the case was who could finish last. Slow and steady does not win the race. It never has. It never will. The fastest runner wins. Even in long distance, ultra marathon, let's say, over 50 miles, the person who finishes in the least amount of time is the winner. The person who goes the furthest in the least amount of time is the winner. Slow and steady does not win the race. Do not go slow and steady. The story is not about slow and steady. The story is about underestimation. Underestimating your opponent, one. That's one of the first ones. It's about underestimating your opponent. In a competition, you underestimate your opponent and you lose. The hare underestimated its opponent and it lost. The hare underestimated the tortoise's speed, the tortoise's tenacity, the tortoise's the relentless push forward, and he lost, right? Now, take it a step further. It's also a story about underestimating yourself. The hare underestimated everything. The hare took a nap. So when we look at this, we start to, we are all the hare, all of us. We all underestimate ourselves. We underestimate what we have the ability to go out and do. We also underestimate what it's going to take to accomplish that thing. We underestimate the work. We underestimate the focus that's necessary. We underestimate the discipline it's going to take to achieve that thing. We underestimate the effort that we're going to have to put forth. One of the biggest things that I think that we underestimate is the amount of understanding that it actually takes to become incredibly excellent at the thing that you're trying to go for. I think we underestimate greatly how much we actually have to put into the thing to become successful. Now, what did the tortoise do? Because typically we look at the tortoise and we're like, oh, he went slow and steady and he won the race. The tortoise did a few really cool things. For one, in the face of sure defeat, he took the chance that he might win. In the face of 100% sure defeat, he's like, well, the hare is way faster than me. I'll still compete. That takes a pretty decent amount of courage, I would say. He was sure that he was going to lose, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I think that's a big one. I'm wearing the Do It Anyway shirt today, actually. So another thing that the tortoise did the absolute best that he possibly could in the face of sure defeat. So even though he knew he was going to lose, he still put everything he possibly had into that race. Another thing that he didn't go slow and steady. Everybody's like, no, the tortoise went slow and steady along the way. Tortoises have to go slow and steady. They're not fast. They're actually faster than you think that they are, by the way. I had I don't know, a few snapping turtles when I was in high school that I caught and would release into other places. Anyway, they're faster than you think they are. But the tortoise did not go slow and steady. He went as fast as he possibly could. He put the pedal down. He went as fast as he possibly could to try to win that race. So even though his opponent went and took a nap, and he saw that his opponent took a nap, he then took that and he pushed further, and he tried to close the gap on the finish line so that he could win. So this is something that we can learn from. Even though your opponent takes a nap, even though he didn't go, oh, okay, well, my opponent takes a nap, so I can take a nap too and take a load off. That would have ensured his defeat even further. So even though he knew he was going to lose, he still went for it anyway. Even though his opponent took a nap, he still kept pushing forward, and no matter what, he did the absolute best that he possibly could. Now we look at what the hare did. The hare took a nap. The hare thought he had it in the bag. The hare underestimated his opponent, and this is the big one. This is the big one. The hare thought that the hare had more time. And what does that sound like? That sounds like life. At the end of your life, I don't know if you've ever had a near-death experience. I've had one where I really legitimately, I thought I was going to die. I was in a car, and I was going down a road, and this thing happened. Anyway, I ended up I did multiple, what do you call them? Not cookies, donuts. I did multiple donuts, and I remember the car flipped sideways at this point. It was actually the other way. It was actually this way because I was on the driver's side, and I remember looking left, and I was seeing, and I was seeing down this stretch of highway. I was going like 70 miles per hour, and I remember it just went sideways, and it seemed like forever that I was going sideways, and it wasn't like my life flashed before my eyes, but I remember going, huh, so this is it. Interesting. I wasn't scared. It was really weird. It was like this moment. It was just like this straight acceptance of the finality of life. And I remember it really, really well. I was probably 17 years old. I was a senior in high school. No, I would have been 18 by then because it was in the fall, or in the spring. So I remember that really, really well, and it was like the final moment of life, and it was just like this interesting thing. And I think that you kind of, after something like that happens, you kind of realize how much time you don't have. Like, none of us have the amount of time that we want. We're going to get to the end and we're going to go, oh, fuck, I wasted this or I wasted that. I wish I had more time. I wish I could go back to that time. I wish I could change this, that. And I wouldn't really call it regrets. It's just things that you see along the way that you learn from, that you could have capitalized on, but you didn't learn from the error in the moment. And so I think, what did the hare do? The hare made a tremendous error by taking a nap and underestimating his opponent. He didn't do the absolute best that he possibly could. Now think of what would have happened if the hare would have done the absolute best he possibly could and just pushed forward with as much tenacity as the tortoise did. The tortoise would have been blown out of the water, and it would not have been a thing. So the tortoise showed a great deal of courage, great deal of grit to get done what he did, and the hare acted like a little bitch and took a nap. Now, the reality is that you will not have time to do it all. You will not have time to make all the mistakes. You will not have time to be an island and do it all yourself. You will not have time to learn everything that you need to learn. That's why you go and learn from other people who have other perspectives than you. So like one of the things that I do, the way that I learned this was I actually went to this conference, and at the conference, it was a one-day conference, and I remember coming home and just being pissed because I spent every dime I had to get to that conference, which was not very much at the time, but it was everything to me. I went completely broke. I went into debt to get there, and then I got to the conference, and the speakers, I was like, these speakers are garbage. If anything, they should be learning from me, not me from them. And on the way home, I was so pissed off, and I just realized that no matter what, I needed to learn something from that, because otherwise I just spent a lot of money to get nothing out of it. So from that moment on, I decided, no matter what, even if you have nothing to teach me, I will always learn something. And I think that's kind of along the tortoise and the hare thing. Like, do not underestimate. I think this is a story, the tortoise and the hare is not a story about slow and steady. Slow and steady does not win. Slow and steady always loses. You go, the slowest person in a race loses. Doesn't matter how steady you go, the fastest person wins. So slow and steady is stupid. Underestimation is what this story is about. Underestimating your opponent, underestimating the amount of effort, focus, discipline, understanding, energy that you're going to have to put into this thing to make it worth your while. And I think that there's some other things that we can learn from the tortoise, especially is, well, we can learn from the errors of the hare. He took a nap. He underestimated his opponent. He showed that he was a coward. And we can look at the courage of the tortoise. The tortoise put his best out there in face of defeat. And even when he thought he could have seen the hare there taking a nap and been like, well, I can go slower now because the hare's taking a nap. This won't take me that long to get to the finish line. He pushed forward still as hard as he possibly could. And I think that's what we all got to do if we want to make this thing the absolute best that it possibly can. And the point I'm trying to make there is that's about life. It's the experience of your life that you're going to have. Like, what are you even doing here? To me, everything is about the experience that you do have. You're not going to take anything with you. If there is an afterlife, if there is this thing afterwards, if it's not just nothing, I won't get into all that spiritual stuff. But what are you going to take with you? You're not going to take anything, but you will take the experience of what you had right here and right now. So to me, everything's going to come down to the experience. What are you here for? There's no reason for us to be doing this. There's no reason for me to be making this video. Is there? Is there? I think it adds to my experience that I'm living right now to share perspectives, and I want to hear yours because then I can grow more into my experience. But anyway, Tortoise and the Hare is not about slow and steady. The story of the tortoise and the hare is about underestimation, and we all tend to be the hare. And I think it's important to look at the errors that the hare made and the ways that the tortoise capitalized upon them, because I think like we all have the tortoise and the hare inside of us, but slow and steady is a stupid idea. Underestimation is something that gets us, that ties us all up. So if we can start to look at that and realize what we can learn from the errors, then we can capitalize upon them. Anyway, that's Monday. Hope you guys got something out of this. Let me know your perspectives down below. I'd really like to hear them. As always, please like, share, comment, and we'll be back tomorrow with the Rachel and Adam Show. And if you guys have a topic, I was just trying to brainstorm topics for the Rachel and Adam Show tomorrow. Usually I like to do these a week out, but we don't have one yet. So let me know what you want to talk about, and Rachel and I will attack it. Anyway, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. See you tomorrow.